Hi, this is Eric with Low VA Rates. It's Friday. Of course, as always, we wear red on Friday in an outward appreciation of our inward feelings towards those in the military. Red Friday stands for Remembering Everyone Deployed. So please, wear red on Friday. If you can see the staff with me here in the office today, you'd know here at Low VA Rates, almost, if not every single person wears red on Friday because we really believe what we preach. So, speaking of believing what we preach, let's talk a little bit today about a very important topic, and that is VA loan underwriting. Okay, we get all sorts of messages throughout the week on our YouTube videos, Facebook, thanking us for taking the time to educate people on some of these more detailed or misunderstood aspects of the loan process. And we're grateful when we get those comments. And we're going to just dig a little bit deeper today on underwriting. Underwriting scares people. Not just loan officers, believe it or not, but consumers get scared when they start thinking about underwriting. It doesn't need to be scary. We're going to make it very simple and easy to understand. Bear with me for about 3 to 5 minutes tops and start thinking about questions now that perhaps you have in regards to underwriting. What we're going to talk about today is essentially some common underwriting statuses, at least that's the word we use in the mortgage industry. These might just be segments of the underwriting process. You could refer to statuses as different steps along the way. And then we're also going to talk about some popular underwriting, or I shouldn't say popular because underwriting conditions are never popular, but they're common. We're going to go over the top 3 underwriting conditions that you might see when doing a VA mortgage. Okay? So let's start first with underwriting statuses. Underwriting, let's define what that is very quickly. Underwriting is when your loan and all the paperwork that you've put together with your loan officer when you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, at some point when all that paperwork's put together, it goes to a very experienced individual known as an underwriter. There's certain licensing that's required in some cases. There's all sorts of education that's required and experience. And this underwriter is when a human being goes through all of your paperwork. And the first step is to have an underwriter pre-approve you. Now, a lot of times in today's market, that's done automatically or through an automated system on the computer. But in some occasions, an underwriter actually has to pre-approve your loan. Once your loan is pre-approved, it starts getting processed, and then it goes into a full underwrite. And that is normally what happens next is a conditional approval. A conditional approval is when the underwriter comes back and tells the loan officer and or the processor, look, I verified all of your documents, I looked at all of these different things, and your loan's good to go, conditional upon, and then there might be a handful of things that the loan officer and the processor have to work through together to get those conditions cleared. So be ready for that, because a lot of times that takes some interaction from you, the veteran. Once that conditional approval has all been done and off go all those conditions, this is what everybody's looking for. That clear to close. The clear to close is when the loan officers are giving high fives around the office, they're calling you and your realtor, and they're saying, good news, we're ready to go to the closing table. The underwriter has cleared all of these conditions and we're ready to rock and roll. Now what we don't want to deal with, this is not good, and that is when the underwriter denies the file. Why would the underwriter deny the file? Well, maybe some of these conditions that she or he asked for, you were not able to clear those conditions. For example, we need a more current copy of your most recent pay stub. Turns out you were injured on the job, you're no longer employed, or you're on some sort of disability leave. That could be a reason that your loan gets denied. Again, just an example, but that are normally going to come right here to this conditional approval. As I just mentioned, when you're purchasing a loan, maybe you get pre-approved back in April of 2018, but you've been making offers on all these different homes. And then once you're under contract and your real estate agent has helped you find a seller that's willing to sell you their home, a lot of the documents that you used to get pre-approved with have now been aged too long and we need some updated ones. So probably the main conditional approval that you're going to see or condition on your approval is updated pay stubs. Perhaps an updated letter from your employer letting them know that you're still in good standing at your place of employment. Okay, another popular one, again I keep saying popular, conditions are never popular, they're just common. A very common one is the underwriter sees something when going through the underwriting of the loan, and he or she wants more explanation. They need details. Perhaps there's something negative on your credit. Remember, we have no minimum FICO score here at Low VA Rates, so we don't care what your score is, but there might be something that we want you to address, and you're going to be asked to write a letter explaining why did your car get repossessed, or what caused your bankruptcy back in 2012. These are letters of explanation, and they're very common. Okay, and then third, verification from sources, other sources. What does that mean? For example, we need verification that you have insurance. So we might need to get a hold of your insurance agent and get more verification that you have sufficient insurance coverage. There could also be verification from your bank that the earnest money that you put down on the house actually came from you. You don't send us a bank statement. We may need to verify that those funds came from you. So this is just general today. We can get much more detailed. We have other videos on our YouTube page if you'd like to go there. But as I'm wrapping up, I don't know if there's any other questions. You'll notice I wore a hat today because last week someone by the name of Brady Smoot made a comment about my wonderful hair, so I covered it up today. So I know there's not going to be a question about my hair, but so far no questions. Is that right? Speaking of my hat, I don't know if you can see that, but in closing, we support a military nonprofit here in Utah called Follow the Flag. If you go check them out online, you'll really like what they do. But over the entire week of the 4th of July, Follow the Flag hung in a massive canyon here in Utah, the largest free-flying flag in the United States. Check them out. We've got lots of patriotic pride here at Low VA Rates. We love our veterans, and certainly we love VA loans. We'll see you next Friday at the same time.